Okay, let's start our lesson. But before we start, let's revise some of the I've studied in the last lesson, which was about the ionic bonding. We studied the ionic bonding. We said that the ionic bonding, what's the definition of ionic bonding? How can we define the ionic bonding?
Is the bond formed between
Wait, 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 wait,
metal and
wait,
non-metal by
wait,
electron transfer?
wait, stop. Saud, yes, Saud raised his hand.
It
Yes,
is a
Saud.
bond formed. It is a bond formed between metals and non-metals by electron transfer.
Excellent. This is a correct definition. So the ionic bonding takes place between metal and non-metal by electron transfer. The electron transfers from metal to the non-metal. The metal changes into positive ion and the non-metal changes into a negative ion. Then an attraction force takes place between the ionic positive ion and the negative ion. Okay, and we had different examples. We had sodium chloride, we had magnesium oxide, and calcium chloride. Today we will continue talking about bonding. The second type of bonding is called covalent bonding. Covalent bonding takes place between two non-metals. Two non-metals. Okay, because we said that the ionic bonding takes place between metal and non-metal. But here in covalent bonding, it takes place between two non-metals. Also, the ionic bonding takes place by electron transfer. But here in covalent bonding, it takes place by electron sharing. Electron sharing. So we can define the covalent bonding by it is the bond between two non-metals by electron sharing. So we don't have here electron transfer. We don't have electron transfer. Only electron sharing. The electrons that is used in making bonds are called bonding electrons. We have different examples for covalent bonding. We will talk about the first example is hydrogen molecule. Hydrogen molecule. It is the simplest covalent bond, the simplest covalent molecule. As we know that hydrogen contains one electron. So if we have two hydrogen, yes, yes, Muhammad, اللي هو ايه؟
Electrons that use making bonds are M stuff.
اللي هو البوندنج electrons. I will repeat it again. Okay. طيب. We will have some examples for covalent bond in some molecules or some compounds. The simplest molecule that contains covalent bond is the hydrogen molecule, H2. Hydrogen is a non-metal. We have here two hydrogen atoms. So we have two non-metals. Okay? So the bond between hydrogen and another hydrogen atom, as we know, hydrogen contains one electron. And the second hydrogen also contains one electron. Each atom wants to have the nearest, the electronic configuration similar to the nearest noble gas. The nearest noble gas to hydrogen is helium. The nearest noble gas to hydrogen is helium. Helium contains two electrons. So hydrogen wants to be to contain 2 electrons. It will contain 2 electrons by electron sharing. So the first hydrogen atom shares by 1 electron, okay? And the second hydrogen atom also gives 1 electron. It will give 1 electron. And the bond will be formed, between the 2 hydrogen atom. Every atom shares with 1 electron because every atom shares with the same number of electrons. It shares with the same number of electrons. The first hydrogen shares with 1 electron and the second one shares also with 1 electron. This will give the hydrogen molecule with a covalent bond between the 2 atoms. Okay, type. These electrons in hydrogen are called bonding electrons. These 2 electrons that was used in covalent bonding are called bonding electrons. Okay, but now let's move to another example. This example is chlorine molecule, Cl2. We have Cl2 molecule. We also know that chlorine contains 17 electrons. So it contains 7 electrons in the outmost energy level. It is 2, 8, 7. And also we have the second chlorine, 2, 8, 7. Okay, so every atom contains 7 electrons. It tends to reach the electronic configuration similar to the nearest noble gas. The nearest noble gas for chlorine is neon. Neon اللي هو Ne has 10 electrons. So it will be, it's argon. It will be argon. No. You have also three noble gases. You have to keep them: helium 2 and neon 10 and argon 80. So we have here argon. Argon is 18. You have to keep these 3. Okay. But argon 18. It will be 2, 8, 8. So in hydrogen, they tend to reach the electronic configuration of helium. Helium is 2. It contains 2 electrons in the nearest. It is the nearest noble gas. So hydrogen reached the electronic configuration for the nearest noble gas by electron sharing. These electrons are belong to the 2 atoms. They belong to the 2 atoms. Okay. Right. In this example, chlorine has 17 electrons. So the electronic configuration will be 287. So chlorine needs only 1 electron to reach the electronic configuration for the nearest noble gas, which is argon 80, to be 8 in the outmost energy level. So the 2 chlorine atoms will react together. The first chlorine will